the way this season has been going.
It's honestly, it was kind of one of those, do I even want to bother watching this, when they decided they were going to do a second season, and I'm glad I'm watching it. It's not The Ones Who Live or Daryl Dixon, in my opinion, but they're holding their own, and I think they're doing a really good job with current character development. Not so crazy about some of the new people that they've added, but the storyline is interesting enough. But honestly, if they just did 40-ish minutes of going around the New York City world post-apocalypse and just gave me sights, I would be thrilled. I think that's why I'm watching it, because I love the post-apocalyptic world. New York City is one of my favorite cities, so it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was one of the things that initially drew me to the show too. And in addition to obviously Maggie and Negan, it's just the environment itself. The city itself is a whole nother character.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I feel like if ever you were going to be able to get away with a steampunk meltdown kind of universe that we see in Dead City in New York, it's because the city is New York. You couldn't do that in any others, but like, because it's Philly, you accept a guy like Bruegel might exist. You accept that the Dama might have a level of power. Like, yeah, this is New York. These are the type of characters. I'm not too surprised ended up in New York when everything fell.
Yeah.
There's a part of me, like, we'll get into it when we talk about the episode, but I mean, obviously we get a big reveal as to who the Dama is or was. Now the question is, who the hell is Bruegel? Like, who was he before all of this started? But we'll get into that. Yeah. Oh, I have them too. So we'll.
I don't. So I'm just here to react, folks. That's exciting.
But that's awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. We look over the feedback for this episode, and apparently that is not the shared reaction so much. We're getting more and more people kind of falling off a little bit, but hopefully still sticking with it. We'll go through the feedback and we'll see exactly where people stand. So let's dive into the feedback for episode 3. Becky, why don't you start us off with the first one?
Sure. Adam Buckley says, if they want to methane, they take the Croat.
I think that's probably a response to what we were saying as to how they plan to get the methane off the island.
Okay. Take the Croat.
Take the Croat. He's the one that came up with the science behind it. Right. So you're not actually taking the methane itself, you're taking the man behind it.
I have to say, your all's conversation last episode about her and how are they going to get the methane. I was listening and my husband was sitting there with me, and you were like, what are they going to do? Fill I don't know, like a water bottle or something and take it with them? I laughed so hard. Oh, that was great. Sorry.
But there's truth behind it though. Like, what is their plan to do it? But what Adam says makes a lot of sense.
Take the Croat.
Take the Croat. He's the one that came up with the science behind it, and
that's fair.
You take him to develop it for you.
Yeah.
So you're coming in for a prisoner. So, Alex.
All right. So next up, we have feedback from Shana. Serious Fear the Walking Dead vibes. So disappointing. Played out tropes and boring. Even the zombie attacks are lackluster and seem ridiculous. I want to enjoy it, but hate to see Maggie's character flatline this way. I mean,
fair.
I got nothing aside from the Fear of the Walking Dead, which I feel like is a bridge too far. I feel like that is a charge I cannot quite accept yet. I have no problem with any of the other commentary there. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. It's we still need to see a lot more of Maggie this season. We're not getting enough of her, and to be fair, a lot of the time is being filled with a lot of these new characters. Like that's we might be getting a little too much of the new characters, but I'm with you. I draw the line on the Fear the Walking Dead comparisons, because even Fear had a number of good seasons before it really started to shit the bed.
That's true. That's very true.
They had 3 good seasons.
Yeah, so we're still in that buffer
for sure.
Like for sure, 3 seasons. We haven't come to a now I'm so far removed from Fear, I don't even remember the character's name. Garrett Dillahunt's character.
I didn't last long enough to have any lasting impressions.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think I'm the only person who actually wrote it out. I finished it. I had to.
God love you. God love you.
I already forgot the character's name, and I apologize for the people at home screaming at their phones the real answer. I'm sure it'll click as we go through. It'll just be like a random
at some point.
But we haven't gotten to a point yet where if a character dies, we quit.
What character is there that we feel that way about, though? I don't think that they have. I mean, Maggie and Negan would be the only two, but there's enough irritating me with both of them that, even if they killed them off, I'd be like, sweet release. I don't know.
I would continue to watch it if.
I would too. I'm intrigued enough. I like the show.
Just don't kill off New York City, and I'm sticking around.
Yeah, just blow up the whole damn city. Hey, methane makes their hell, man. Yeah. If Negan dies, the show continues. It's not a big deal. I think Maggie might be the only character where people will be like, I agree.
I think that they would lose all goodwill if there was no Maggie.
People might start watching if Negan dies.
Now, that's true.
That is true.
Now you're getting into fan scripting.
I don't get it. Next up, Angie Hill Reynolds. Ben and Alex were listening and so glad you're podcasting it. However, LOL, I'm disappointed with the show, but I enjoy hearing your points of view. It definitely has Fear the Walking Dead vibes. No, we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I understand where people are coming from, and I think the biggest disservice happening to this show right now is being released at the same time as The Last of Us, which is by far and away a better crafted show, better dialogue, better set pieces, better character development, better intrinsic relationships with all of the characters from the majority of the fan base. And it is really highlighting the warts and simplicity of this show when compared up against it. And because last night I watched these shows back to back. I watched this and then I watched the season finale of The Last of Us. And it's the same genre, but you really cannot compare the two. It is apples to oranges as far as the level of prestige and execution. And I think that's really hurting Dead City in a lot of the fandom's eyes right now, is that direct comparison.
Yeah, you're right. That isn't helping it at all. And I did the same thing. I watched them back to back, and there's just no There
isn't. I want there to be, but yeah.
See, I didn't watch them back to back purposely because I didn't want that kind of to affect my viewing of the series. I watched The Last of Us last night, and then I watched Fear the God. Now I'm calling Fear the Walking Dead.
No.
And then I watched Dead City today. Earlier today, as I was just kind of relaxing, because The Last of Us, when we podcast on The Last of Us, I don't really take notes because I've played the games, so I have enough of a memory of what it is, and I can retain enough of the differences to still podcast on it without taking notes. Dead City, I have to take notes because this is all new material. This is something we've never seen before.
Yep.
So. You're right. It is apples to oranges comparing Dead City to The Last of Us. But The Last of Us also has source material to base itself off of.
Yep.
Dead City doesn't have that. And that is another thing that can either hurt or strengthen the show. And right now, I feel like it's a detriment to the show rather than a strength.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree.
So, again, I don't think the Fear the Walking Dead vibes are merited yet.
I'll go yet.
I will say
third.
Yet. And I did say it would click. John Dory was the character.
John Dory. There you go. Knew it would happen. I knew it would happen. All right, Becky, who's up next?
All right, we've got Dobolino, Bob Grippy. I hope I said that right.
You did.
I knew the black guy would die as soon as he went out with Negan. Herschel got groomed 100%. He did. He was totally being seduced by her like Palpatine seduced Anakin. Nice comparison. That lady would make a good walker or witch with all her beautiful aging. The mystery of Herschel and how he was brainwashed, I'd be far more compelling than anything Maggie or Negan, simply because this is initial revealing of Herschel's character.
I'll
I agree
actually
with
second that. I
will-
agree.
Yeah.
The descent of Herschel is so much more fascinating than anything going on between either Negan or Maggie right now.
Yep. It goes on. As soon as they showed the tall grass field and they were about to wander in there to get somewhere, I said, ... what could possibly go wrong here? In that Walking Dead sort of way. I thought the walkers would come up from the ground because the people disappearing seemed to be pulled downward, ... but no. Worst character, Hulk Hogan in Santa with muscles, and Enid is a spy. Hashtag TWD spy conspiracies. That was wonderful.
That was fantastic.
Dobolino will die on the hill of Enid is a spy.
I wanted to believe it, but there is not enough evidence. You can make a circumstantial case, but beyond a reasonable doubt, I don't think I could convict.
Should be Herschel is a spy.
Herschel is a spy. So
Herschel is a spy, as we did find out. Well, we'll get into it.
Right? We can't get ahead of ourselves. I've been trying real hard not to not to get ahead of ourselves like we did last week. All right, next up from the one, the only, Karen Shee. Agreed with Dobolina that the Maggie and Herschel stuff is the most compelling thing right now. Hot take, we don't even need JDM/Negan to be in the show at this point. I'll argue against that one. Sounds like the Dama groomed the Croat the same way she's grooming Herschel now. I still can't stand any of the New Babylon people. The Central Park crossing was cool, but predictable. And of course, none of the characters that matter are really ever in danger. Could have done without the weird circle of life cult, too. As someone who has had multiple open heart surgeries, I don't think that's how it goes. So, is Herschel the dead city? Ooh, heavy metaphors. P.S. This show wouldn't work as well if Logan Kim wasn't such a fine young actor. I'm excited to see what he does next in his career.
Well, he is a Ghostbuster now, so
that's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Karen, I agree with it was the point that I made last week. That sounds like the Dama groomed the Croat the same way she's grooming Herschel now.
For sure.
That was the point I made last week, that the Croat was Herschel before Herschel. I stand by that.
And I want to add to that I think it's fair that she did the same thing to Negan.
Did or tried to?
Tried to. Let me say she tried to.
Okay.
I thought that when y'all were discussing it last week, I think Negan, he resisted until he brought the family in.
She went for Carrot
to do the same thing.
Yeah, Carrot didn't work, so she went for Stick.
Yep.
Well, and one of the things that I missed last week, and when I was editing last week's podcast and I was looking for the audio clip to put in the beginning, the audio clip that I chose was of the Croat eating the pigeon pate or whatever the hell it was. And he mentions that the food that the Dama gave him, he calls it something in Croatian, but then he says the English translation, he says brittle candy. Mm-hmm. It's the same exact thing that the Dama gave to Herschel.
Oh.
Yes, it is.
So she only knows how to cook one thing. Okay. Now we're on to something here.
My mind is blown.
So there is more confirmation through that the Croat was Herschel before Herschel. He was groomed just like Herschel was.
Oh, and he was just too crazy. She's like, all right, I need a new Herschel. Or I need a new Croat.
I don't know if Negan has been groomed. I don't think there's been enough time for that to happen.
I don't think he's groomable.
I think she tried, though.
I could see her have tried. I mean, we had 9 months that we didn't get to see. Yeah. Very possible that she did try, and that's why, like, on the last day, Croat was like, all right, man, it's like put up or shut up day.
I mean, unless she was the one that was responsible for Victor being there, knowing that would be the music would be his meal, would be his brittle candy. So
it would have taken some time to figure that out, but they have time. There's no Jerry Springer.
It's true. The metaphor of Herschel being Dead City, I don't know if I buy that.
No, I think New York's the Dead City, guys. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one too. It's pretty standard. Nothing.
I don't know. I'm not 100%
the surface
sure
on that one.
All right.
I would like to say, Karen, I am so grateful that you have survived your open heart surgeries, and I hope that you're doing well.
True.
Karen is actually going to be on 2 episodes from now. She's going to be on for episode 6. Yep.
You know, that's the trick, Ben. We get more people to guest onto the episodes, and then they can't give up on the show until they've shown up. And then we can save the show that way, okay? We're going to need to have 20 hosts per episode.
We force them to keep watching by making them co-hosts of the podcast.
Yes. It's brilliant.
Karen reached out to me before the show even aired. She had an episode in mind because of the fact that episode 6 is directed by Lauren Cohen.
Oh, okay. Love that. Love that.
So she wanted to come on for that. She made it a point that was the one she wanted. So of course,
nice.
She came on with me last season too, and she was great. So we're looking forward to her coming on.
That's awesome.
All right, continuing on with the feedback. Next one comes from Danielle Dement Jost. I'm bored to tears with this show. It's a hell of a way to start. I think my problem is that I don't understand what the Dama is up to, and I'm tired of waiting for more information. The episodes move very slowly through the story, and the whole dynamic between Herschel and Maggie is so repetitive. Bringing Annie in could be interesting, maybe, but will we ever actually see her, or are they just going to talk about it? I don't know. I think I'm just not interested in seeing any more of this story, which is too bad. It has moved too slowly, has not brought me any real joy. It's Walking Dead. It's not supposed to bring you joy. Sorry, Danielle.
No, that's a fair point.
And doesn't seem to be on track to change anytime soon. I don't really care about the characters, which is sad because Maggie used to be one of my favorites. Also, one huge departure with the show compared with other of the Walking Dead shows is that no one ever wins, no one is ever happy, no one ever tells a joke or does something cute or funny. It's just grim and dark. I already have 3 teenagers at home. I don't need any more angst. So I want to start with that last point real quick too, with the no one ever tells a joke or does something cute or funny. I don't recollect The Walking Dead ever really doing that either. I think, Alex, to go back to your point, that's a comparison more to The Last of Us than it is The Walking Dead.
Yes.
I could be totally wrong, and Danielle does remember things about The Walking Dead that are very... I mean, every once in a while, yes, there's pancake batter and all these kind of fun things that happen.
I think there were a couple this episode of little, funny one-liners. I do think The Walking Dead brought some humor, especially with Daryl and Rick, Carol and Daryl. There were some funny one-liners that would kind of give a little bit of levity. So I'm on Danielle's side here, but I do think Dead City gave a couple. I've got them written down here for this episode.
I think when they do have opportunities, I find the Croat to be fairly hilarious. But maybe it's also just how I interpret things. But still, one of the funniest moments in my memory was the pancake batter, Ben, which you alluded to, and that is pure Abraham gold.
Yeah, I mean, and that's cutlets through and through. So I mean,
that's true. That's so true.
I do agree with you too, Becky, too, that I think there was definitely some humor in this episode as well. It's dark humor, but I mean, it's a dark show.
Bruegel cracks me up.
Let me tell you, I'm so glad we got so much more of Kim Coates this episode.
Talk about a man that knows how to chew a scene. A man that just knows how to we'll get there. No, I'm not going to do it. We're going to get there, damn it. But all right, who's up next?
And so next up, we have Deborah Ulmer. Hi, Ben and Alex. First of all, I wanted to give a correction on the discussion of my feedback for last episode. I was actually talking about the scene while they were still on the boat and Maggie softened to Herschel for them to work together to get themselves off of the boat. I didn't recognize the last scene, as y'all were saying, as Maggie's uneasiness about Herschel. As for this episode, it seems like the Dama has manipulated Herschel from the start, using her words to twist his thoughts. Given his compassionate yet broken nature, it's no surprise he was easily brainwashed into following her agenda. Every time the New Babylon people appear, I sigh in frustration, as do I. I hate this name.
Navarez.
Navarez, thank you. Navarez's know-it-all attitude is problematic, and Pearlie needs to take charge and reassess their mission. The Central Park scene reminded me of Jurassic Park's raptor chase and Children of the Corn's unexpected group encounter. I love you for that reference, Deborah. The way their life was intriguing and made sense. However, the park people suffered from The Walking Dead's curse, where the arrival of the main characters often brings suffering to the community. So true. Negan playing both sides is making me nervous, as it has already cost him dearly. I hope he doesn't make a major mistake. Take care and have a good one.
So I made the same exact Jurassic Park reference last week as well.
Sure did.
I was just waiting for like tails to be flopping like up out of the air as they grab people.
Oh, absolutely. And I agree. I was not the biggest fan of the Seraphites last week either. I did not care for their introduction. I didn't like the whole moaning ceremony. This week I thought they were a little bit more tolerable because there were 5 words uttered by them. But I hear you on that one.
Did you intentionally call them Seraphites?
Absolutely, I intentionally.
Okay,
I was going to call them. I was going to call them the Scars, but I didn't want to be disrespectful.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was like, again, you're right. I mean,
it's hard not to compare them.
I didn't even think about that either, like that direct comparison to The Last of Us right now.
For sure. All right.
I just love the Children of the Corn.
That's a great one too. That's a fantastic one. All right, Robin, I'm excited for your feedback. Let's see. Robin Springer says, I just don't know. This episode was a little better than the others, I guess. Maggie and Herschel, are they just going to go around and around talking past each other? Maggie has made her feelings / position on Negan crystal clear. At this point, I feel like Herschel needs to get over it. Either understand how she feels about Negan killing Herschel's father 16 years ago, or not understand and just move on. I know his head is messed up, but still. And Maggie, you're a badass leader, girl. Get your groove back. Negan, I don't know. He's not all bad when it comes to kids. He's done a lot of bad things, but he's no hero. I don't know what he's up to. The Dama. I think she was a big Broadway star, or even a movie star. We had Chekhov's star on the dressing room door, as Ben alluded to, so she almost has to be a star herself. Was she also the artist she talked about mother or lover? The Major, dead already? Does she have any idea what methane even is? How does she think? Die already. Oh, gosh, yeah. Well, that'll work out. Does she have any idea what methane even is? How does she think she's going to get it? The Croat, whatever. Pheasant pate, please. The new group of crazy people. Do the writers lay awake at night dreaming this stuff up? Do we really think that the world would completely devolve into all these Mad Max factions? Or would people just form communities and live life? This smashing of chests and offering of hearts, come on. Aren't there other ways of introducing conflict besides just weird, freaky groups? Or is this franchise played out? I bring you again, Seraphites. All that said, the trek through head-high grass was scary. Almost as scary as the cemetery where Jesus was killed. There should have been more Walker fighting, though. Lastly, I'm a little embarrassed that I missed a blue bandage at the signal fire. Herschel does seem to be the mole. Interested in what you guys have to say. So
rest in peace, Jesus.
Rest in peace, Jesus. The one thing I did want to offer up was I do think in a post-apocalyptic world, people will go crazy. I think it's enough traumatic experiences and enough people are be like, dude, this is proof that everything we thought was a lie, that there's that blah, blah, blah. I think, yes, Becky, you're right. Freak flag, gonna fly.
Mm-hmm.
Have people never read Lord of the Flies?
I mean, it's a bitty right.
It is the evolution of society and humanity. It's told through kids,
sure,
but it wasn't 16 years like it's been in a post-apocalyptic world. It was a matter of days.
Amen to that. I went to band camp. I get it.
If that can happen, what does that have to do?
If you got to ask Ben, you didn't go to the right band camp.
I went to band camp. I get it. But I mean, if something like that can happen in a matter of days, yes, 16 years, I absolutely can see people devolving into what these nature people became.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm here for it too. I love it.
So, especially when you consider that some of those people probably grew up like this is the only life that they knew. So
True.
they're indoctrined to this. And then it just becomes easier through generations. I mean, 16 years, you're not talking generations, but actually, I think it's been longer than 16 years at this point.
Yeah, because 16 would be just, I assume, how old Herschel is. So then it'd be an additional. Oh God! You know what? I'm not trying to do timeline math in the Walking Dead universe.
No.
I'm not doing it.
We need Lucy.
True. Pull out the star chart.
But no, I agree. Thank you, Robin, for that feedback. Switching into emails, we get an email from Joe Ailing, and he says, "Hi, Ben and Alex. I'm loving your enthusiasm for Dead City Season 2. Well, that's one way to put it without saying
I'm here for it.
Regarding Herschel's shot at Negan, we've seen Herschel is capable of using a gun in season 11 of The Walking Dead proper, where we first saw him aim his gun at Negan. So I read the scene as a warning, as him firing a warning shot to get Negan to leave, rather than just trying to kill him. That's possible.
I like that, Reed.
Yeah.
Also, the dynamic between Herschel and the Dama has been the most intriguing part of the season so far. It seems to be a popular opinion. I don't think Herschel is set to become a villain as such, but it makes sense to have him go down a different path to the other kids from the main show, especially considering the experiences he and Maggie had while away from the main group. Love the podcast, Joe. Thank you,
I would love to see Herschel and Judith interact just for 20 minutes. I know that that's crazy talk at this point in the stage, but he brought up an interesting point about like where Herschel's at compared to the other kids, and we haven't seen a ton of them grow up on the show, but that would be very, very intriguing.
I think Herschel's the only one we have seen. I mean, we saw Judith grow up to a point,
right?
But even the last time we saw Judith, she was still relatively young.
Yeah,
Herschel, I think, is the oldest we have seen any Walking Dead child.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, he would almost have to be. Yeah.
Well, Carl.
Yeah.
Oh, Carl.
Negan. No.
Oh man, it's just evolving.
That was well
into.
done.
Yeah.
Thank you. I really enjoy doing the Croats Negan. I do it all around the house all the time.
That's great.
Really freaks out the kids.
This podcast is just going to devolve into impressions of Walking Dead characters.
Darn right it is.
Might be better
if we're doing it right.
Thanks, Becky.
So next up, email from Colin Stillwell. I bet Negan is just thinking to himself this whole season, why is she so obsessed with me? That was great. Get over it, Maggie. Christ in a tub, she's annoying. I love Lauren Cohen, but Maggie is just a bore. Her not being over Negan killing Glenn a decade ago is like me still blaming drugs for getting me an open container charge in 2010. Oh my God, I love you, Colin. Now that's what I call Brambles Maggie, but I digress. This season has to be building to something big because Central Park didn't tickle the fancy I thought it would. And I agree. I didn't get what I wanted out of that. Goes on to say it was exciting and the wildlings were interesting. I couldn't watch the damn episode with the kids around during the sacrifice part with it sounding like a porno I nabbed off the shelves in, you guessed it, 2010. The Croat nose bumper sword Morgan was killed by Negan, but it was a neat callback to the blood on your hands when he handed him the rag, which looked mysteriously similar to Herschel's rag, to wipe his hands of said blood. Anyways, love y'all. Thanks for covering my second favorite spinoff. Peace. That was great, Colin.
As long as your first favorite spinoff isn't Fear.
There's no way. No one's
What if
first
it
favorite.
is?
No one.
Clarify, Colin.
It's not even Jenna Elfman's first favorite spinoff. Okay. No, Colin, that was fantastic. I'm right there with you with Maggie and the whole like, all right, like I get it happened a decade and a half ago. At some point, you do have to like just woosah get over. I mean, I get it. There are no therapists in the ZA, and we're gonna. I said I wasn't gonna do this, but we're gonna get into it when we talk about this episode. But what I think is some of Maggie's underlying problems and her inability to let go, and what that is doing to her life
And her son, her relationship with her son.
Absolutely, yes.
She's letting it affect a lot of things, and I don't necessarily agree. And Colin, please, no disrespect when I say this. I don't necessarily agree with the whole not getting over Negan killing Glenn is like him not getting over getting caught with an open container. One thing you did yourself, the other thing was done by somebody else. I don't know if I get that comparison. But I do agree it's been a long time. I don't know. Can you ever really truly forgive someone for murdering someone you love?
There's a difference between for getting over and getting past, and there's a difference between forgiving and moving on with your life. I think the fact that Maggie seems to just live in this rut is kind of detrimental. Like, that's not actually healthy, that she can't move on past this whole Herschel thing this whole Glenn thing.
Yeah, it's probably more. I'm looking at it now, kind of like a wider lens, and it's more. It's not so much forgiving him for what he did. It's he exists, he's out there, but I don't need to constantly follow him.
Right. I don't need. He's not the boogeyman coming around. I don't have to worry about him coming back and kidnapping someone and bashing them in the head. He's not that guy anymore. So that's the other thing. I just like. She knows he's not that guy anymore. And again, we'll get into that when we talk about this episode. But it is frustrating. So thank you, Colin. I feel a bit seen. All right. Email from Tam, and I'm just going to go with Tam. When we get to the end, I'll explain why. But hey, Ben and Alex, thanks for the addition to my point of art being something transferred to the Walking Dead universe, The Last of Us, and even The Handmaid's Tale. Music, of course, is included with that, and was the thing that made me think of these expressions of creativity that are quite the opposite to the violence and brutality side of humans, especially in an apocalyptic or dystopian world, and how music even makes us feel when it's played while we watch. It's pretty common in feedback to hear how people make comments on the music. And in regard to my throwing up seasickness, not pregnancy diagnosis, was a tongue-in-cheek comment due to the long discussion that was had on Dina's pregnancy announcement via throwing up as a sure bet. I thought Ben may have remembered talking about it and gotten my dry attempt at humor. Technically, I'm not funny at all. Oops, spoiler, maybe.
Sorry, I don't remember.
So I'm hanging on still because these creepy, calm Central Park people intrigue me. But I agree, they aren't going to be much help getting methane off the island, but will be great scapegoats probably. I'm not sure their fighting skills, but excellent heart surgeons, I hear. And the also creepy relationship that the Dama has with Herschel, but I just want to see that crazy Willy Wonka elevator room she's lured him in with. Preying on his need for safety, stability, and letting his creativity serve her somehow. Maggie, yes, has had all the love for him, but Herschel is right, saying she's chasing Negan for Glenn's ghost. From what we know of Glenn, he wouldn't agree with how she's been managing a grumpy teenage boy. That's a great point. Mm-hmm. So we continue on in bewilderment because I don't know what the F is going on still. Tam, Perth, Australia. P.S. Tamara is
Tamara. Yeah.
All right, is Tamara, but Tam's fine. So I tried to figure out the 5 different phonetic ways I could pronounce the way it was spelled out phonetically, and thank you. I appreciate that. Tamara. I can do that. So just like from Once Upon a Time. Okay, I can do that. Tamara. I got you.
I actually have another friend named Tamara, so I knew.
That helps.
I knew the pronunciation.
Nice.
Yeah, but thank you, Tamara, for the feedback.
Absolutely.
I've talked about that bedroom too, that room that she created for him in the elevator that goes up
so
to the view of the city. I would freaking love that room.
That'd be amazing.
That'd be amazing. Listening to y'all's conversation last week, I could not do that, and here's why. These buildings are old and not sure how sturdy they are, especially in an elevator. So if I'm going to have to live somewhere in that city, it's not going to be in an elevator shaft high up in a building. I just don't see that as safe. And I think if she cared about him, she would have put him in a better place.
I don't hate that.
Even if the methane just happens to run out, you are stuck at the top of that elevator shaft.
That is true.
Forget about it even falling over or anything. You are just stuck at the top of it.
Oh, that's tough. I would not enjoy that.
Yeah. All right. That leaves us with one final piece of feedback, and that, of course, is a voicemail from our friend Steve Brown. Let's go ahead and play that now.
Hello, the cast of us. This is Steve, and this is for Dead City, Season 2, Episode 3, the Why the Mainlanders Crossed the River. So now we're going to get a flashback into how the Dhamma indoctrinated Herschel, right? And by the way, just a note for you guys, I had no clue the blue cloth. Apparently I didn't notice it in my first watch of last episode that was what started the fire at the tire. So I was totally in the dark. I was one of the few people who had no clue Herschel was the one. So you guys, you got me on that one.
Nice.
Of course, now they're going to keep hitting us over the head with it by showing us that blue bandage all the time. Oh yeah, this is why people don't go into the park, because of these weeds and the walkers in them. Ooh. Oh, and Herschel just got saved by one of the Dhamma's people, I'm right. Oh, I see what Negan's trying to do here. He's trying to drive a wedge between the Dhamma and the Croat. Oh, and now Negan's going to go into the park with this other guy, and they're going to try to find the New Babylonians. Now, the New Babylonians have found a community within the park. This community has survived this entire time in here by themselves with the dead around them like a moat, and now Herschel's by himself in the wilderness. And more memories of Herschel being held by the Dhamma. Okay, so we're unclear whether the girl that saved Herschel was part of this group or was part of the Croats group, or I don't know. I noticed that Negan doesn't have Lucille 2 with him here in the park. Oh, he just said, why did the mainlanders cross the river? Title of the episode, mic drop. All right. So Negan just let that guy die. Oh, I just thought, is that the Friends fountain that Herschel is stopped at? Okay, was that the guy that was with, well, Negan just killed him, so it doesn't matter. All these flashbacks of how the Dhamma got to Herschel. Wow, man. And that statue with the hole in it, is that supposed to be the same as with the guys that were speared? I guess the whole stay quiet rule doesn't include mourning, right? Because they're now moaning and singing a song. Oh, and is she digging her heart out, or what is she doing? Okay, so Negan goes back to the Croat, and now the heart is they're just going to leave her body out in the, guess so. And she becomes part of the moat that surrounds their castle. Wow. More of this Dhamma and Herschel. Wow. On to next week.
So real quick, I love the thought of that fountain being the Friends fountain.
Canonically, I have decided it is. Just so everyone... I don't care, Ben. I've decided it is.
I'm with you, Alex. What
that is the Friends fountain.
Nothing else.
100%.
The Friends fountain was not in New York City. It was in Burbank, California.
Nope. I don't care.
But that's fair.
No. That was one of my favorite live Stevings yet. That was fantastic.
The only thing that would have made that more canonically correct is if you would have gotten the
damn it.
Missed opportunities.
Missed opportunities all around. That's true. Right. That's true. Folks, before we get into this episode, the one general thing that I heard in a lot of the feedback was not vibing season 2. And I understand that. But one thing that I've noticed over the years is a lot of prestige shows have a great season 1, and then season 2 comes in. It's kind of lackluster. It's not what everyone's hoping for. But then there are shows that find their way back. So I grabbed a list with my trusty friend ChatGPT of some of the lowest ranked second seasons of prestige shows that went on to have 5 overall good seasons. Okay, we have The Wire, Dexter, Mr. Robot, The Morning Show, Westworld, and The Walking Dead proper. Season 2 was not that critically acclaimed when it first came out. Everyone thought it was boring as shit. We were going through the same beats and the same motions on Herschel's farm, and it's like, what are we doing here? So even Walking Dead proper, season 2, a lot of people had trouble with the farm.
Wait, hold on. I did not know this. You're telling me that season 2 of The Walking Dead proper was critically panned?
Not critically. I don't know about critically, but the fans.
Maybe fans.
It was by the fan. I don't give a crap about critics. It was the fans that were like, oh my God, this is so slow and just drawn out. And just when are we getting off? The Randall dilemma that lasted for 8 episodes.
Because Sophia coming out of the barn is still to this day one of the most gut-wrenching scenes of any television show.
Absolutely. 100%. Yes, that was a mid-season finale, not a full season. Like, that was a long-ass season on the farm, and people did have issues with how long they were just stuck there. I get for budgetary reasons, but I'm telling you, if you go back, people were not loving it at the time. So I'm saying, sticking with it, there's still 9 more seasons to go if it's anything like the Mothership show.
I'm just going to put this out there. I don't have it in me to podcast on this show
9.
for 9 more seasons.
Absolutely not.
I'm enjoying the show. I'm not doing it.
I think you give us one more.
I could see 1 or 2 more
I'll be
seasons of
okay.
this. Yeah. Like, even if you go to 5, I mean, I'd be okay with that to finish a story, but I don't want 10 seasons of this.
No.
I mean,
There's a sweet spot. And if they can achieve the sweet spot, everybody goes home happy.
true. I mean, I'm one to actually say that The Walking Dead proper went on for too long.
There were
I
definitely
agree.
some patches you could take out. For sure. I enjoyed the final season though.
I enjoyed everything we got from it, but it could have ended. It could have ended
For sure.
sooner than it did. And it didn't have to go into every arc of the comic book before it wrapped up the show. I mean, you look at shows like Breaking Bad knew when to end.
Absolutely, yes.
And because of that, it was one of the greatest finales of a television series that we've seen.
Amen.
Walking Dead could have done that had they wrapped earlier.
Yeah, no, I'll agree with that.
So 2, maybe 3 more seasons to this, and I'll be happy.
I like it.
And wrap it up.
I like it.
Let's dive into this week's episode. We've spent a good amount of time on the feedback for this week. So
Great feedback, though.
That's
thank
true.
you. You know what? I don't care if you're hating the show. Keep leaving the feedback.
You can hate watch that. There's nothing wrong with hate watching stuff. Oh,
no,
Ben, you don't want people to hate watch?
Don't
No?
hate watch.
All right.
Still try to enjoy it.
Okay.
It's
I wanna
not
tell
Fear
you-
the Walking Dead.
I want to tell y'all, you were talking about the way you're doing feedback, and I love this format because, because I listen to a lot of, I watch way too much television, y'all, but I watch a lot where screeners and they read the feedback at the end of the episode that was for the previous episode, but they're talking about the current episode, and it just gets confusing. So doing it this way, you get all of the previous week's feedback, and then you can dive into the conversation, and it flows and it makes the feedback more fun and make more sense. I love this format, and I hope others will that choose to do the episode right after it comes out and then, get feedback later. We'll put it at the front of the show. It's working.
All right.
Love it.
I'm glad it's working.
Heck yeah.
We took a shot on it just to make it easier and more feasible for doing it. The only thing that it's going to become the issue is when we get to the end of the season, we're going to have feedback for the finale. So we're still going to have to do one more episode just to do that feedback.
I feel like there's usually like a wrap-up episode, like what did we learn? What were the lessons that we found out today?
What do we expect? What would we change as we go forward?
We need that Zach Braff, look up into the right-hand side. It's like, well, that's pretty much sums up what happened today. Yeah, we need that. We need that moment.
We'll get more of that too because he's coming back.
We'll see how that goes.
Let's not
Really?
get off topic. Yeah, they just announced he's returning for the Scrubs. I don't think it's not a reboot. It's
Revival.
Scrubs Revival.
It's a revival.
He's coming back as JD.
My guess is essentially he's going to be the new, kind of Dr. Cox, whereas Turk's going to be the new Dr. Wynn, and Dr. Cox is going to be the new Dr. Kelso, and just everyone's a little bit older, and we got newbies coming in. That's my theory.
Cox's Kelso.
He's going to be fantastic.
Phenomenal.
I don't care until Neil Flynn signed.
Yeah, right. We need Janitor back. All right,
Damn
we're
right.
off topic.
All right, sorry.
Walking Dead, Dead City, Season 2, Episode 4, Feisty Friendly. Becky, why don't you read the plot summary for this episode?
All right. As the Dama and the Croat push for an alliance with the powerful and eccentric Bruegel, Negan finds himself caught in a deadly arena battle used to settle the terms. Meanwhile, Maggie, Herschel, and Pearlie infiltrate the museum in search of the methane facility, leading to a tense reunion between Maggie and Negan. Secrets come to light, including a shocking twist about Bruegel's champion, and questions about Herschel's true loyalty begin to rise.
Nice.
That was so dramatic. I felt that plot summary in my soul.
That was delightful.
You're welcome. everyone.
I like how Becky says it's dramatic, and you're like, it's delightful.
I find drama delightful.
Okay, that's fair. So where do we want to start with this one? Because I mean, so we start, this episode opens with Bruegel, and we have so much Bruegel this episode, and I love every second of it. Kim Coates is such a phenomenal character actor, and we didn't get enough of him. Like, we got introduced to Bruegel, but we didn't, not nearly enough to know the kind of character that Bruegel was. He just kind of came off, as many people kind of made the comparison, as the mustache twirling villain.
Yes.
But now we've gotten so much more. Becky, what are your thoughts on that?
I just wanted to say that I tip my hat to Kim Coates, because I clowned a little bit on him when they introduced him in my feedback earlier on in like we're 12 episodes in or something, a couple episodes ago. And I was like, this is going to be so dumb. And they could have taken this guy to a cartoonish level, but Kim Coates brought the perfect balance of quirk and, I don't know, regular normalcy or whatever to this guy, that I'm sold. And you could kill off Maggie, kill off all of them, and just give me Bruegel and Croat fighting each other on a regular basis, and I would be so happy. Loved him. And I knew his dude was human last episode.
Ooh.
I call it.
See, I didn't call it last episode. I called it early on in this episode.
Yes.
Because when we get the opening scene with him talking to somebody behind a curtain, and then he feeds the rat in the bucket, I was like, oh, like, I'm getting Governor vibes. Like, is he keeping a zombie?
So was I. Yes. And yes, but no. Like, samesies, but not.
Yeah. And then when we got that point a little bit later on, when the Croat was starting to realize there was something off about the champion, I was like, I wonder if dude's alive. Like, he's actually a living person, because the champion did seem to know. Alex, you kind of called this early on, and I kind of just wrote it off as in like, oh, that's just the way they fell. He knew where to target.
Exactly where to kill. Yes. Yes.
There was intelligence behind his fighting.
Yep.
Yeah. And the way they fought each other in the farmer's market, crazy farmer's market, as I called it, there's just, walkers don't fight like that. And they're just,
even with the guts, I didn't believe that it would be that way. And I don't know, you think about it, 26-0, like, A, how the hell has no one questioned it before now? And B, the amount of crap that Bruegel was probably able to acquire, and the amount of power and status that he was able to do with that cage fighter, and just causing these bets, no wonder he is kind of the top of the whatever their currency system is. No wonder he's at the top, because that right there is an overwhelming favorite.
Yeah, I mean, you look at, diving a little bit deeper into Bruegel's character. Obviously, we talked, we got feedback about it as well, about art. And this guy is a serious art collector. We made the comparison, or we made the theory early on that the Dama is somebody who is very cultured. And we got our answer to that this episode, which we'll get to. But Bruegel is the same way. He is somebody who is very cultured. He is basically taking up an art collection.
Yep.
He's saving art to, for the sake of not just collecting it, but saving it for its cultural impact. When he tells the whole story about Washington crossing the Delaware, and then we see how he reacts when that painting goes up in flames. Like, he is a legit lover of art. I would almost say probably very similarly to how the Dama, who we find out is not a Broadway star, but a Broadway critic. And critics are usually people who couldn't be Broadway stars.
Hey.
I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's a curator of some kind.
Like a museum or a...
But he also gives me mob feel.
That's
I was thinking
theory.
finance
I think he's
bro,
mob.
like a hipster finance bro. You think about, the early 2000s. Oh, like I said, right before
But he had a bodyguard named Tony.
he did have a bodyguard named Tony.
Talked to him. It was very, very soprano-y, very Italian mobster type. I don't know, because he the persona he put on in front of everyone else, and then the way he talked to Tony. I don't know if you go back and watch it, listen to the dialect and the way he's pronouncing things. It just was very.
You're right. He did. It felt much more like Jersey when he was just talking to Tony in the beginning and the end, than when he was kind of performing for the Dama and her crew throughout the rest of the. You're absolutely. I did notice a little extra hint of New Jersey. No offense, Ben.
I was born in New Jersey.
None taken. Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
No offense taken at all.
Well,
He gives me. If you watch the after post, one of the producers put it the best way in saying that he is a cultured barbarian.
Ooh, I like that.
He is all about the chaos, but he is sophisticated in the way that he does it. He lies, he cheats, and he steals to get his way. That is either mob or stockbroker.
Yeah, I definitely Wall Streety. I think mob is too obvious. I think a great zigzag would be to make him Wall Street, influenced.
Somebody he used to be a person of power, right?
Right.
He used to.
But I don't think political. I wouldn't.
No.
Political.
That's what made me think mob. But
somebody who gauges power on wealth. Or by wealth, not on wealth. And he has it in spades in cheating his way into getting the museum, getting all these art pieces, getting everything that he has through manipulation of this human disguised as a zombie.
What if he was the ShamWow guy? What if that was his claim? Maybe he just got millions by being the Billy. I forget what that guy's name was. He was out in Pittsburgh, but yeah. I'd like to think he was like a promoter or something.
Could always be New York's My Pillow guy too.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Maybe Flex Seal. I don't know why
Flex Seal's
more
a good
Flex Seal being used in the zombie apocalypse.
Well, that's a great point. More duct tape as well. Well, someone's got to make it, I guess. All right, so let's talk about what. So I don't know. I'm a dumb Pennsylvanian. What was this? The History Museum of New York? What was this museum? Anyone know?
Wasn't it?
It's the Metropolitan
cool.
Art Museum.
All right, and that's in New York, you say?
Yep.
Okay.
Really? That's in New York, huh?
I'm a dumb Keystone Stater.
Next to the fountain that
the Friends
filmed their opening.
All right, good. I think a lot of people are going to be irritated by the Dama and Bruegel's interaction at the beginning and how flowery and over the top and showy it was, and they're going to probably hate on the dialogue. But as I was watching it, all I was thinking of was Catelyn Stark and Renly Baratheon, and in these new